Okay, and now we're going to look at pre-launch content video number 3 from Susan Garrett for her Brilliant Recalls course. And just a quick review, covered this when I covered her first video. She's in the dog agility training market. This was Susan's Recallers course. She had a relatively small list of under 20,000 people, but this was one of the most successful internal launches I've ever heard of. It was incredibly successful. Susan first joined PLF in August 2008, and in the years since then her business has grown by a factor of 77 times. At the same time, she's gone from having to travel between 20 and 25 times per year, and now she only travels 4 to 5 times per year to go to competitions. And so PLF has made a huge impact on her life. So this is the third video. Go watch those first 2 videos to see lots and lots and lots of really high value teaching throughout her pre-launch, but it also is naturally leading to the sale. So
Hi, welcome back to Say Yes and to my third episode in our
she's going to start off with a pretty lengthy review of the first 2 videos. It takes about over a minute to really go through a little more in-depth review of the first 2 videos before she really delivers the hook at the 1:12 mark, and sets the hook really for the coming sale. It's the hook for this video, but it really sets the hook for the upcoming sale. So I'll let you look at this first little bit here.
Hi, welcome back to Say Yes and to my third episode in our latest complimentary online dog training webinars. In my first video, I asked you to become more consciously aware of any of the times that management was taking you away from really good dog training opportunities. I suggested that you become more conscious of the decisions that you were making when you were managing your dog's unwanted responses. Now, looking at us humans from your dog's point of view, even though we may think it's completely disgusting when our dogs choose to roll in some nasty smelling carcass they found in a field, we need to consider that from our dog's point of view, maybe they think that we're the weird ones when we freak out at the sight of them doing something that comes completely natural to them. It's a classic clash of desires. In the second video, we learned how to get away from the simplistic role of using food only as a bribe or prompt with your dog to the energizing way that choice should be used to supercharge the value of those rewards and empower your dog to participate in the whole process with you.
So that was really the review of the first 2 videos, and now she's really going to set the hook for this coming video.
What we really have to do as dog lovers is to seek a common ground where we fit into each other's lives more harmoniously. Stepping away from the potentially combative nature of a relationship of blame and moving towards a place where our wants align with our dog's wants. This leads to a more effective, less stressful life together with you and your dog. Hopefully by
So now she's going to start to talk about do land, and she really, in this next 1.5 to 2 minutes, she really draws a picture of a much more desirable future. That's what she's doing. She's painting the picture of a much better future for the dog owner and for the dog as well.
By now, you'll have already set a goal to moving away from managing and scolding towards living a life that we like to call do land. Now, do land is a place where the focus of all training is to reward good choices you want to see being repeated in your dog. The land of don't is managing the dog's poor choices with stern reprimands like no, don't, leave it, ah. Here in do land, training is built in strategic layers where choice and high value reinforcement work to create that clarity I've been talking about all along. It's a place where we constantly strive to synchronize our dog's desires with those of our own.
So you can see as she talks about do land, she's painting this picture of this much brighter place. She's talking about the strategic layers to get to do land. And this is very, very compelling in here, and I definitely invite you to watch this whole entire section. I'm not going to let if you look down below this video, you'll see Susan's entire video, and you can go through the entire thing. I'm going to skip ahead here to where at 3:20, and she really tells another story here, and you can see in each one of her videos she's done this, and she does this over and over, tells these stories that pull people in.
Now, when I was younger, a teenager, I had certain housework chores that I had to do every week. I'm sure you had the same. You got the lure of an allowance for doing them. I think it would have been difficult to have made scrubbing the kitchen floor addictive, but I actually grew to really hate not just those chores, but anything to do with housework. I was told that I had to do them. By way of contrast, when I was about the same age, I started experimenting with cooking. My mom, who herself was not a massive fan of cooking, loved my experimenting and made a big deal anytime I decided to cook dinner for the family. She gave me the reward not only of the attention raving about the food I'd prepare and how I did it, but giving me the added bonus of no chores that night because I cook supper. Is it any wonder that today I have a house cleaner, and I've had one from the moment I could afford to hire one, but I rarely go out to a restaurant because I much prefer home-cooked meals.
So that story just naturally ties into the whole idea that she keeps on repeating of, managing versus training versus and rewards. So again, it just reinforces the overall story arc of her launch. Now, throughout here, you're going to see there's just massive training as you go through this video. At 4:24, she really starts to, I'm going to get there. She just, lots and lots of great content through this entire video. I'm going to skip ahead to 6:20, where this is where she really delivers the hook for this entire video. So this is pretty deep in. Usually we like to hook people early on, but this is so seamless how she's built the story and added layers and layers of the story. But here she really hooks people hard. I'm going to get there, 6:36. Here we go.
Your desires. Today I'm going to lead you through my 5 keys to creating a framework that puts choice at the center of all of your inspired training. Point number 1. You have to know exactly what you want. Document it in great detail, exactly what you want to see from your dog. Not in general vague terms like, I want a well-trained dog, but in really specific details, such as, I want my dog to come when he's called. And I only call his name one time, under any distractions, regardless of how far away I am or what he's doing at the time he hears me.
So the amazing thing that Susan's doing in here is that she is teaching, and in this next section, she's going to go real deep and teach very, just great stuff. But she's also setting this hook for what people want. It's like know what you want in a well-trained dog. Visualize the outcome that you want. And she's doing a lot of great teaching, but she's also painting this picture of the viewer's future if they actually follow through with this training. So watch this next section. It's really remarkable because she talks about really visualizing what a well-trained dog is and getting very, very exact, and even writing down exactly what it is. And these are important it's part of her training that people do this, but it's also really powerful because it's cementing in the results that she's going to give people when they buy her course. She's really cementing that into their minds.
I want him to race back to me as if he was chasing a squirrel. Have it in mind, have that goal in mind, exactly the behavior, or if there's a lot of things that you want to change, the behaviors that you want to see made different than what you've got right now. Point number 2. Visualize the benefits for creating this outcome for yourself. Write them down on a piece of paper as if you were on your way to already achieving them. Again, be very specific. For example, you might write, once my dog learns to always come when he's called, he's going to be able to enjoy more freedom on our walks in the woods. I'm going to be more relaxed when walking with him near traffic, and I'll be content knowing I can recall him away from any danger in his life if the need ever arises. Once you have this list of all those benefits, stick it up somewhere so that it'll be on your daily radar to review ongoing.
So do you see how this can be so powerful, getting people to visualize the end results that they're going to get and even write them down and even post them someplace that they can see? I mean, it's great. I mean, it's an important part of her training, and Susan truly believes in this, but it's also really powerful to get people visualizing these outcomes, and these are the outcomes that you're going to give them in when they sign up and they purchase your course. Very, very powerful. Now I'm going to let this roll a little bit because she continues to do this, but I want you to notice at 8:26 how she just slips in a little one piece, like when I'm lecturing around the world, and that's just real authority building. And she's very subtle as she does that throughout here, but just watch how she does that.
Those are the reasons you're putting in those extra time to come up with fun games to get you where you want to be with your dog. Point number 3, be aware of the role of stress or distractions in your training. When I'm lecturing around the world, people often freak out when they hear the term stress.
Okay, so in this next section there's about a 9 or almost 10-minute section here where Susan goes deep into teaching and she provides huge value. And I'm going to skip through this because it is a 9-minute section. But as she goes through there, watch how she not only does this great teaching, builds huge value, builds reciprocity, builds authority, but what she's teaching also naturally builds towards her offer. And then I'm going to skip ahead towards the end of the video at 1840. This is where she pivots towards the offer. This is where she starts talking a little bit about the offer and sets up the next video, which is going to be the sales video. Now this is an important piece that a lot of people miss. They'll give 3 pieces of pre-launch content and they'll be great, and then it'll just sort of end, and all of a sudden the next video is like, boom, here's your sales video. And it's like you're giving, and all of a sudden, you're their best friend, and all of a sudden you're asking for the money. And that can create quite a disconnect. So you always want to pivot towards the offer and start talking about the offer at the end of the 3rd video. So she does it in her last, just minute or so within the last video. And that's all it takes. It's very simple, and it's not a huge, big thing. It can be a very subtle thing like this, but it's the way you start to transition towards that sale. So watch how she does that here.
And your job as a dog trainer will never seem like work to either of you again. This is a powerful formula for making a change to any unwanted behavior, something that your dog has right now that you're concerned about. But if you share my ultimate goal of synchronized desires, imagine what an amazing working relationship you can have built into every new skill you train with your dog. That is the power of my upcoming online recallers program. Here we are going to strategically build in elements that help to make training addictive to the dog, which ultimately helps to make you his drug of choice. Synchronized desires. I'm going to have more on recallers and the program later this week. We're going to open up registration at the end of the week. I look forward to reading your comments and answering any questions that you have about this one-of-a-kind relationship building program. Thank you for watching, and here's to you synchronizing your desires.
So that's an example of a 3-video series that does a lot of teaching, that isn't slimy in any way, isn't hypey, isn't big sales pitch. It's just 3 great pieces of pre-launch content that naturally lead towards going deeper. That's what I mean. She gives a lot of framework, and someone could take this and certainly train their dog and have better success with their dog. But to really build the relationship that she's shown that she has with her dogs, and have that kind of success that that Susan has demonstrated, it's time to step up and go deeper and sign up for the training. So this is just an example of a really high value training that then leads into a high value course, and did just just amazing, amazing numbers in terms of sales, and also created huge benefits for the people that stepped up and joined her in the training.